UFC 324. Paddy Pimblett edges Gaethje in fan vote. But barely only a handful of votes separate Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje ahead of their massive UFC 324 showdown. And if the fan reaction is anything to go by, this main event is far from a foregone conclusion. This Saturday in Las Vegas, Pimblett and Gaethje will headline UFC 324, kicking off the UFC's brand new Paramount Plus era with a high-stakes clash for the newly introduced interim lightweight title. The winner is expected to move on to a future unification bout with the reigning champion, Ilia Topuria, who is currently on hiatus at the start of 2026 while dealing with personal matters. But the big question remains, is this fight a mismatch or a trap waiting to happen? Pimblett enters the fight as the betting favorite, but the fanbase clearly isn't convinced he's a lock. That a Bloody Elbow Talking Points poll asked over 2,000 readers to pick the winner, and the result was razor thin. Fan vote results: 2,133 total votes. Fighter vote share votes Paddy Pimblett, 52.79%, 1,126 Justin Gaethje, 47.21%, 1,007, only 119 votes separated them. A gap small enough to prove that the MMA world is split right down the middle. The case for Pimblett: the grappling threat is real. Supporters of the baddie believe the fight becomes dangerous the moment it hits the mat. Pimblett's best path is obvious. Pressure forward, force clinches, turn scrambles into chaos hunt submissions. Even some Gaethje backers admit the danger isn't on the feet, it's what happens if Justin gets too comfortable and lets Paddy in a grappling range. One fan summed it up perfectly: Paddy is a menace on the mat. And that's the key point. If Gaethje gets overconfident, Pimblett doesn't need to win every second, he only needs one moment. The case for Gaethje: experience, power, and punishment on the other side. Plenty of fans believe this matchup is being overthought. Gaethje supporters argue that Justin has faced far tougher opposition. His striking is levels above, his pressure breaks fighters over time, and his takedown defense could erase Paddy's biggest weapon. Some believe the moment Pimblett realizes he can't dominate the grappling, he'll be forced into a stand-up fight he can't win. The argument goes like this: if it stays standing long enough, Gaethje eventually lands something nasty. And with Gaethje, something nasty usually means the kind of shot that changes the entire fight instantly. The real debate: can Pimblett survive the storm long enough? This is what makes UFC 324 such a fascinating headliner. It's not just striker versus grappler, it's chaos versus violence. Pimblett thrives when fights get messy. Gaethje thrives when fights get brutal. The debate isn't really who is better overall, it's who gets their fight first. Pimblett turning into scrambles and control time, or Gaethje turning it into a car crash on the feet. The fan vote suggests one thing loud and clear: nobody truly knows what happens when these two collide. And that's exactly why the interim lightweight title fight feels so huge. What's next? UFC 325 heads to Australia after Pimblett versus Gaethje kicks off 2026. The UFC won't slow down. Just 1 week later, the promotion heads to Sydney for UFC 325, where Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez will run it back for featherweight gold. Fans are already debating whether Volk's elite IQ wins again or Lopez's explosiveness finally breaks through. Over 25 minutes, and with names like Dan Hooker, Taito Avesa, and Rafael Fiziev also set to return, UFC 325 is shaping up to be another must-watch card. Final word: Pimblett may have won the fan vote, but only by a sliver. And if the poll proves anything, it's this: Fire UFC 324's main event isn't a mismatch, it's a coin flip with consequences.